I'm back from watching the woke Superman movie. It was great. It was not woke. Stop bitching. With that said, I wanted to react to this because I think it definitely continues the conversation now that certain people are realizing who Donald Trump is. Yes, people like myself and others already knew who this man was. It leaves a gaping hole, and let's have the conversation. Let me play the video on something that Andrew Schultz said, and let's dive right into it.
All right, never mind. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I can see that.
to me, that seems like the most logical thing.
I believe that about Trump. I believe when Trump, everything he campaigned on, I believe he wanted to do. And now he's doing the exact opposite thing of
I
every
don't
single fucking thing.
know what he's done. Yeah, exactly to your point. If you tell me, it's easier for me to believe you wanted to do all these things if any of them were happening
Bro,
in the way that you said they
to
were.
that point, like there'll be people that like they'll.
So I'm genuinely interested, and maybe someone watching this video can let me know in the comment section. What made you believe? Well, I can probably answer that question myself, but I'm gonna ask the question anyway. What made you believe that he genuinely wanted what's in the best interest of the country? From what we know about Donald Trump, the billionaire, what could have possibly made you think that this man cared about what's going on with the American citizens? Because as a comedian, Andrew Schultz, you know that people lie all the time. You know, people put on false bravados to, get what they want from you. You know that this man, Donald Trump, treats this stuff like a business, and business is all about supply and demand. You know what the demand is, you provide the supply, regardless if it's something that you want to do or not. But you just know it will get their attention, it would get their favor. So I think probably one of the things that a lot of people go back to when it comes down to Donald Trump's best interest is that they go to his other election, his other presidency back in 2016. And I always tell people that Donald Trump did not have a good presidency. He didn't really get anything done. COVID allowed him to shut down the borders. He had a budget deficit, regardless if the economy was improving because of Obama. Ultimately, he didn't do anything. And then after his election, I feel like anybody with common sense would look at him doing the false election stuff, complaining about it being rigged, and then would see what he did in inciting January 6th and realize that these are bad things. These are ruining the integrity of America, right? So why would people believe that he believed anything that he's trying to do that's in the best interest of the country? It's interesting.
Give me like you see what your boy's doing. You voted for this. I'm like, I voted for none of this. He's doing the exact opposite of everything I voted for.
Yeah.
I want him to.
And this comes with like being educated, right? And this is why the conversation is important, because he voted for a perception, but wasn't really paying attention to the actions of the individual he voted for, right? I'm sure he's going to go through some of the things, and we'll talk about some of the things. But the real conversation I want to have is the conversation of, should we accept these people with open arms? And I'm going to be very clear with my answer. Absolutely. Right now, I want to focus on important political issues. And before Trump's administration, during the Biden administration, I was able to focus on things that we should really care about, like public education, wealth inequality, the Black culture being kind of degraded. I wanted to focus on those specifically, but because of Donald Trump and what how he destroyed and toxified and cultified the Republican Party, I can't focus on those things. I'm only focused on the Trump administration. So right now, I want to ensure that the Trump administration, MAGA, do not destroy our country, because I do think it's the best country in the world. That's why I have a flag. It has a lot of problems. I do think we can get it better. But if someone destroys the foundation that is America, it'll never get better. It'll fall apart. It'll be the fall of Rome in modern day. So that's my thing. Anybody who's willing to realize their mistake, especially with the midterms coming up, open arms. I'm accepting you. I'm willing to converse with you. We can focus on more specific issues and discuss stuff like immigration, for example, and where there's the ideological differences. But right now, one thing is very clear. Donald Trump does not care. And that Epstein list, he's not going to release it. Those attacks on foreign countries, he's going to do what he does to adhere to his people that he cares about. When it comes to the budget, he's going to increase it. National debt, he's going to increase it. So let me hear what Schultz claims he voted for.
Stop the wars. He's funding them. I want him to shrink spend everything I voted for.
Yeah.
I want him to stop the wars. He's funding them.
He wanted to stop this war. He is funding them. I mean, he attacked Iran. He's funding Ukraine, Russia. So if you're say this is the ideological difference between me and Schultz, I don't think he really understands why we're funding Ukraine, but he's also funding Israel and not really doing anything to stop the war, especially when there was a ceasefire, and he's empowering Israel. So that is for something to look at. Iran is something to look at. Ukraine, Russia, he said he was going to end it in the first day. Anybody who had common sense realized that he was not going to do that, and he's going to capitulate to Putin. And ultimately, it didn't work out because Putin is not Donald Trump's bitch. It's the other way around, and Donald Trump's ego is not letting this happen. So now he's helping Ukraine because Putin is not playing ball. So, yeah, a lot of us knew this was going to be how it happened. And the no wars happening during his other administration was mostly due COVID. That was a big reason why nobody was engaging in international conflict.
I want him to shrink spending, reduce the budget. He's increasing it. It's like everything that he said he's going to.
He is increasing it. And you know what he did in his other administration? Also increased it. When the economy was flourishing due to Obama's economics, he had a budget deficit. How does that make sense? How do you spend more than you're making when the economy is so good? That's going to ruin the economy. So on that, and compounded with COVID, Joe Biden had to fix it all over again. And then our economy was improving. And then you started cutting some important programs that's going to kill a lot of people. There's a lot of programs when it comes down to, we're having the conversation regarding FEMA, the conversation regarding US aid, and the projection that's going to 10 plus million people are going to lose their lives without the proper aid. There's a conversation with, let's say, PEPFAR, and now how there's millions of people who are not going to be getting the proper HIV, and they're going to die. So, yeah.
Going to do except sending immigrants back. And now he's even flip-flopped on that, which I kind of like. But he's like, oh, well, we kind of need the people working in restaurants, and we need our farmers. It's like everything that he said that he was going to.
I respect Schultz for saying that. It sounds like he kind of liked how he flipped on immigration, because he did. Because one thing that we've said is that a lot of the people you're about to get rid of contribute a lot to the economy. And that's why a lot of people are finding out very quickly that, bro, what's going on? I thought he's only getting rid of criminals. Come to find out, he's getting rid of farmers. He's getting rid of construction workers. Those people who do the landscaping, he's getting rid of them too. And a lot of it without due process.
Do that he can campaign.
Well, he said to us, which was important, and I thought it was good. He pressed him on it. Well, you got to start with the criminals in terms of deporting. I don't even know if the criminals are getting sent back. I know there's a lot of people with green cards getting sent back. There's people who aren't criminals getting sent back. I don't know if you're sending back the criminals first. You're definitely not doing it first. I don't know if you're sending them back at all. So nothing has happened.
And you were more optimistic than I was, because I judge him by his first four, and it was Mr. Drain the Swamp, Mr. Build the Wall, he didn't do a lot of the stuff he promised in the first four. So why would anything?
I already expect politicians to not do most of the shit they say.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's fair to say. You don't expect them to do most of them to say. Usually, it's one they're lying to get votes, which is does happen, or it's because of the checks and balances preventing you from doing what you got to do. But ultimately, knowing that, I am curious to ask Andrew Schultz, did you realize that how he I would just I'll make it simple. I would ask Andrew Schultz, what did you think about January 6th? That's like I feel like that is the biggest difference between these candidates at the end of the day, right? That's the easiest way to understand. That's the easiest thing to look at. Of course, I know so much more, but I want to ask a question to the average person.
And now, and I don't want to be like too cynical, but like now I'm getting to the point where it's like, can they do anything? I think the reason why, and I don't know if this is necessarily intelligent, but I think the reason why Mamdani is exciting to people is the same reason why Trump was exciting to people. When you are so fed up with the status quo,
1000%.
when you feel like the status quo
This is 100% correct. 100% correct.
will do nothing and change nothing, you have way more of a longer leash for the outsiders' ideas than you do the status quo's ideas.
Yeah.
Whatever Cuomo says, I don't even know if I believe it because he's status quo.
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's just going to be the same old fucking bullshit. Mamdani comes in with these wild ideas that he cannot do. Like most of them, he literally just physically cannot do them. But people are so, I'm putting this under quotes, desperate for something else. They're like, maybe he'll pull it off. And I think that was the idea with Trump. It was like, maybe he will stop these wars. No. Maybe we will see what's up with this Epstein shit. No.
And I'll take this a step further with what we talked about. We talked about on Patreon with Mamdani. I like that he might even endeavor to do these things.
Yeah.
That was the term we kept using. I don't even see Trump endeavoring to do any of the things that he said he was going to do. Seems like he's just as much the big problem with Kamala. I didn't vote for Trump, but I didn't look at Kamala like she was exciting because it was the same exact thing. Trump is Kamala. I don't know if this country.
That's a stupid thing to say. Donald Trump is not Kamala Harris. One thing you can say is Kamala Harris is the status quo. For sure. Say that. I'm okay with it. One interesting conversation that I wish I would be willing to entertain is that something needed to happen to really force the hand of how our system is run to evolve in a different way, in a productive way, but in a different way. It's just the person who wanted to do that evolution is going to be the there's a phrase where it's like something that is used to destroy the entire system. I don't know what that phrase is. I can't think of it at the top of my head, but basically Donald Trump is a virus and he's going to try to destroy the body that is the United States of America.
Is any different depending on who gets elected.
I think that he did try. That is, and again, I might look at this through like, was it rose-colored glasses? But like, I think he did try. Like, I think with the wars, he literally did try. I think.
Why do you think that? What is this grace you're giving this man? Why do you give him the grace? Just because he says something different? How did he try? How did he try to stop the war? He did nothing to try to stop Israel-Palestine. Nothing. He had no reason to help bomb Iran. Ukraine, Russia, he didn't try to help that situation at all. Matter of fact, he kept on trying to, do things to help Russia get the advantage in this conflict. What part is him trying? Please tell me.
He's talking to Putin, thinking he can make it happen. But I also think his hubris got the best of him. Like, I think he's going, yeah, I'm just going to go over there and tell him that we're going to do no more wars. And then he realized, oh, shit, Putin really wants to reunite the Soviet Union. Like,
that's the thing. Like, Trump is a business person, like a business negotiator. And I don't know if he anticipated the ideologues.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I don't think Trump is like a pure ideologue. Like, I don't.
What is this grace we're giving Donald Trump? What is this great? It's a weird type of conversation we're having. Yes, he had some hubris to thinking that whatever he says, people will do, for sure. But also, what is better for America? Putin trying to reclaim Soviet Union and Donald Trump negotiating with Putin in favor of Putin against Ukraine's best interest, or helping Ukraine stop Putin? People say no new wars, but never really take into the totality of what is going on. So is the no new war is, hey, Russia, you're going to be able to take Ukraine territory, and Ukraine is going to listen because I told them so. Is that what you wanted? Ukraine to lose that much to the country that's invading them?
I don't think he's like, we need to make a Christian nation because that is what matters. I think he's just like a business guy.
Yeah.
And then he's dealing with someone like Putin that is ostensibly a pure ideologue, or like the Ayatollah that is ideological in all of their politics.
No, Donald Trump is a fucking idiot. That's why he can't deal with Putin, who is a like dictator strategist. It's not being an ideologue versus a businessman. It's being a fucking moron who don't know how to politics work versus someone who does and plays it very well. No, don't try to sugarcoat Donald Trump. I'm tired of this. We're not doing this anymore. The business person stuff is out of the question. Not releasing the Epstein list has nothing to do with being a business person. Increasing the budget has nothing to do with being a business person. Increasing the national debt, it has nothing to do with being a business person. Hiring incompetent people has nothing to do with being a business person. Actually, that has something to do with being a terrible business person. So fucking stop it. Stop. Please.
Yeah. And then when he gets into that position, he's like, well, what leverage do I have? These people are willing to die for their country. They're willing to they're willing to do anything to further their agenda. Like there's no reason that can be had because it's purely ideological and not fiscal.
He can't meet them at an economic breaking point.
Mm-hmm.
When you're a businessman, you can find something the other team wants, right?
He can with BB.
Say again?
Yeah.
He can. He can absolutely do that with
I
BB.
don't know
Well-
if that's true because again, if he's sort
Oh, this guy's a Trump supporter, huh? It's this weird rose-colored glasses with Trump, and I just don't understand that. And then you're black-pilled with Kamala Harris. It's frustrating. But if they are ready to hold Trump to the fire and have an honest conversation on who Donald Trump is, then I'm open arms. That's all I'm going to react to. I don't want to get too hell-bent on criticizing. I could tell this guy's a Trump supporter. Like, it's very obvious based on how he's trying to characterize Donald Trump as this person who has he's a genius businessman, but he can't get through to these other political ideologies because they don't want to do what's in the best interest of everybody and the economy. It's their fault because of their ideology, whereas I'm just trying to save everybody. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here, bro. All right, that's all I got. With that said, y'all have a good one. Take care.